So everyone is talking about this Guardian article, video, the comments, all of that. Um, I think having seen some really, really biased against the hobby stuff come out, it wasn't that bad. However, it was very expected. It was very expected how they portrayed us. And I don't know because I didn't watch what was actually filmed. I didn't have the conversations. I've watched a couple of videos from the people that were part of it, and they said, there was so much that I said that I wanted to get across that just wasn't put across. And, that doesn't surprise me because it's not, attention grabbing. I mean, how many Reborns do you guys know? Vinyl Reborn dolls that are worth $20,000. Like, I guess I'm just not charging enough money for the dolls that I make because what? Yeah, there are some silicones that are $20,000, but even that is a stretch. Like my husband said this morning, it's like saying that we have some paintings in our house and some paintings sell for over $20,000. Well, yeah, some do, but the ones that I have don't. It's technically true what they're saying, but it's absurd. And it makes people say things like that money could go towards better things and you should put it towards a real child. There's so many people saying you should have a real child. That's not the way to deal with infertility if you can't have a real child. First of all, a lot of these people do have real children, have had real children. It doesn't have anything to do with that. The idea that a doll is like a real child, the reason I have dolls is because I don't want a real child. Real children are messy, they're disruptive, they're adorable, and they're fucking hilarious at times. I don't dislike kids. I have a nephew that I love to the moon and back, okay? But I don't want to have children. I spent a weekend with my sister when I went home to visit, home to Portland, and I love my nephew and he's smart as a whip, right? But man, he never stops going. He never stops. It's like the Energizer Bunny. And I just looked at my sister after the weekend was over and I said, I don't know how you do this every day. Like, never mind the fact that some of us have health problems that have nothing to do with infertility, but prevent us from being able to do that, being able to be a parent, because it does take a lot of energy. It does take a lot of mental energy, a lot of physical energy, and some of us don't want to do that. And I really resent the fact that because I have a vagina, I somehow have to have children and anything else I do is irrelevant when placed up next to that. I don't owe anyone children. I didn't ever really want children. When I was growing up, I didn't play with dolls. I wanted to be a rock star. I mean, I was into music, like from 4 and 5 years old. That's what I was into. I didn't buy Barbies. I bought cassette tapes. I bought Billy Joel Greatest Hits, okay? Like, that's what I wanted. I didn't want kids. I didn't even want to get married. I didn't want to take no one's name. I was very about me. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the fact that my husband and I would rather spend money doing fun things for us. Why do I have to drop out a kid to be valid? There's too many people on the planet anyways. All right? Honestly, we're overpopulated as a planet. So the idea that I have to drop out a kid just to be valid is disgusting. Nobody approaches men that way. Nobody. If a dude was buying stuff for his car that he doesn't need, like, seat covers or all kinds of special, my dad was a car guy. He bought nitro boost for the engine and all that shit. Nobody says, well, that could be better spent on a child. Men who collect toy trains and they build these elaborate, really fucking incredible train sets, right? This whole village in their back room of, this whole landscape. No one's like, well, you don't need to be buying little trees for your train set. You need to grow up. That should be used for a real child, or that should be, you know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid. The assumptions that get made about us, I mean, I've been seeing this for years, so to me it's just like, oh, okay, it happened again. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. It's dumb. And as a fantasy artist, monster maker, it's even stupider because it's like, okay, show me where I can adopt a real vampire and I'm there. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I ain't afraid. I love that shit. That's my shit. All right? Show me where I can adopt the dolls that I have, and then maybe we can talk. And that's another thing. Let's talk about adoption, okay? I was adopted at birth, and that was, you know, so many years ago, right? X amount of years ago. It's expensive. It's expensive. It takes a long time. It's very taxing. They act like you can just go into the hospital and be like, anybody got a baby they don't want? I'll take it. No. It's a big ordeal. You can't just get a baby. These people that are throwing out these opinions actually have no idea how any of the stuff that they're talking about actually works. So I don't really want to hear their very uneducated opinions. And even if I choose to spend $20,000, okay? First of all, I would never spend $20,000 on a doll. I would buy another Jeep. That's what I would do. I don't know, I would do something else, because $20,000 for a doll to me seems like a lot. But that's my own opinion, okay? If someone else has $20,000 and they want to spend it on a doll or anything, that's their money. It's their business. Like, it doesn't matter what I think. It's not my money. But if I want to spend whatever I want to spend, that's my own business, okay? I have a full suit of armor in my house. I don't know a lot of people that would spend money on that, but I did because I like it. Because I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, and I wanted my house to be like one of the haunted mansions on Scooby-Doo, and so we have Olaf, and he's an 8-foot knight suit of armor who stands in my, living room. And everyone thinks he's hilarious. And none of my friends would think to purchase that. But I did, because I like it. And I don't regret it. We've had him for, 6, 7, maybe even 10 years now. Love it. That's my house. That's my stuff. That's my vibe. Like, I would love to see what's in these people's houses that they spend, quote unquote, too much money on. Let's go through your house and see what you're doing, since you're going to judge me. And they say that money would be better spent going towards real children. Well, how do you know that we don't donate? Even if we don't have real children, how do you know we don't donate to causes that help real children or animals or communities in the world? How do you know that? You don't know that. This whole idea that all of our money goes to dolls. Like, how do you think people afford those things? They have jobs. They have lives. It just astounds me that there's only 3 or 4 comments that we ever get. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you should be spending that money on a real kid. Oh, you should have a real kid. I got to tell you, there's a lot of people in the world, and I'm not talking about our community specifically, I'm talking about in the world, there's a lot of people that have kids that don't need to be having those kids. So maybe don't be telling people to go drop a kid. If you think that I make poor decisions with my money and my life, and you think that I am crazy to the point where I can't even handle my own self, then why are you telling me to have a kid? Why is that the first thing that you think that I should do? Is having a kid the cure for crazy? That makes 0 sense. Oh, you're crazy. You should have a kid. It's absurd to me. I'm sorry. It's absurd. So that's really all I have to say. I'm not surprised. I wish, like many other people have said, that they would have focused on the art part of it. Jackie said she was rooting ahead when they came over. Jackie's rooting is phenomenal. Why didn't you capture that? Why isn't that interesting? Because it doesn't make us look like nut jobs. That's why. It makes us look like we have talent and are interesting, creative people instead of just a bunch of ladies, hugging dolls. So I think it's sad because I do think people, if they were able to see how much time and effort and talent it takes to make these dolls, I think that they would have more respect for us. I think they would see it for what it is, which is three-dimensional artwork. Phenomenally realistic artwork. Reborns get used in movies. I mean, all of these special effects that you see in movies, it's the same idea. It's the same idea as painting a reborn. It's going for the realism, making you believe. That takes talent. But nobody wants to talk about that. It's just sad. It's sad that I've been in this community 10 years and still the outside world, nobody wants to talk about that. But again, I'm not shook or surprised. It's just disappointing.